forecasters say Milton could be the strongest hurricane to hit the region in decades.
We have live team coverage at this hour. Lauren Lister will have the latest on the storm preparations that are underway. But we'll start with Kai Goldberg. He has details on Milton's path and the potential power. Kai?
Well, thanks very much, Glenn Lou. Good afternoon, everybody. We're taking a live look into Milton right now. Still an amazingly strong hurricane, a Category 4 hurricane. There are some changes beginning to develop. Once we take a look towards the southern section of the eye of this hurricane, you can see it's beginning to break apart just a little bit. That's helping things in terms of taking away some of that pressure. Probably downgraded very shortly to a Category 3. But look at the outer bands. These quadrants are delivering a tremendous amount of rainfall right now, from all the way out towards the east coast of Florida to the west coast. Tampa getting hit with a tremendous amount of rainfall. Sarasota, the Bradenton area, and this storm system starting to dip a little bit to the south over the last half of an hour to an hour. So it's beginning to wobble a little bit. So in terms of forecasting where Milton might land, well, that's almost impossible for the time being. But we can definitely tell you that we're seeing the forecast going from a 4 to a 3 once we make our way into the later portions of this afternoon. And by the time we make our way towards 8 o'clock tonight East Coast time, we can expect to see Milton to make landfall somewhere between Sarasota, maybe Clearwater, all the way down towards Fort Myers, Tampa, of course, in the line of fire as well. Still moving very quickly northeast at about 16 miles per hour. So once Milton does make landfall by early tomorrow morning, somewhere south of Orlando, and then making its way through the east coast of Florida, and eventually by Thursday night, definitely by Friday, out to sea. But you can see the future cast, the storm tracker, showing the tremendous amount of rain. And what's really dangerous by the night tonight and into early tomorrow morning is the tremendous amount of storm surge, anywhere between 8, 12, up to 15 feet, and possibly up to 20 feet in some of these areas, again, between Tampa and Sarasota. And that is quite dangerous. Of course, we could see a tremendous amount of flooding with that storm surge, loss of life, loss of property. Power will certainly be a big issue, as you can see the heavy rain now soaking Tampa through early tomorrow morning. And again, like I was just remarking, headed further out into the Atlantic once we make our way into Thursday and Friday, and then finally non-existent by the time we head towards Friday afternoon, Friday night. But again, a lot going on for Milton. We are going to talk a little bit more about the trajectory as the afternoon goes on. But for more information on how Milton is affecting many of the people and the communities there in the west coast of Florida, we're going to send you over to our KTLA's Lauren. Lauren, how's it going there?
Yeah, Kai, we're hearing from President Biden as the Category 4 hurricane approaches Florida's west coast. Millions have been told to evacuate. Well, now local officials in some areas of the state where conditions are deteriorating and bridges are closed are saying it is now too late to leave. In fact, the National Weather Service telling people to shelter in place. We are now seeing gusty winds, high surf, and rain in areas like Sarasota as the region braces for Hurricane Milton to make landfall. The Tampa Bay area facing possible widespread destruction after avoiding direct hits from major hurricanes for more than a century. More than 7 million people in 15 counties are under mandatory evacuation orders. Look at this near St. Petersburg, Florida. The Coast Guard rescuing 4 people and a dog after their aircraft went into the water. Local news reports say their small private plane crashed as they were evacuating Hurricane Milton. And a tornado from the outer bands of Milton was seen in Clewiston, Florida. That's what you're looking at here. The National Weather Service has visually confirmed 4 tornadoes in the region, urging people nearby to seek shelter. Forecasters have warned tornadoes were likely as the hurricane approaches. Residents in Florida who have fled their home because of Milton, hoping they have a home to come back to.
I'm very overwhelmed. I've lived in my home for 18 years and hoping I have a home to come back to. Never had anything this bad.
The best thing for me to do is leave and hope my house is going to be there when I get back. I hope everything works out fine for me and everybody else in the state of Florida. It's going to be tough.
From above, the city of Treasure Island, Florida, looking like a ghost town after being ordered to evacuate. You can see here there is debris from Hurricane Helene still visible. They haven't even had time to recover or clean up from the last major storm. Concerns now that some of that debris could become projectiles with the high winds of Milton. Officials from local mayors to President Biden issuing dire warnings about the storm's possible impact.
Winds will be fierce at well over 100 miles per hour, with storm surges reaching up to 15 feet and up to 18 inches of rain. It's looking like the storm of the century.
That storm surge is still the biggest issue that we're looking at. Any of you who went through Hurricane Helene, that was 4 to 6 feet, and that was more devastation than I've seen in my life. So Milton is bringing the possibility of bringing twice as much.
A lot of concern about that storm surge. Now, the hurricane is expected to make landfall late today as a Category 3 along the center of Florida's west coast. But, of course, Kai is tracking that more closely. For now, that's the latest live in the newsroom. Glenn, back to you.
All right, Lauren Lister, thank you. Developing news, an investigation underway after 5 people are killed in a small plane crash on Catalina Island.
And the plane is registered to a flight school at the Santa Monica airport, and that's where we find our Omar Lewis with some details. Hi, Omar.
Lou, Glenn, good afternoon to you both. This was supposed to be a quick round trip from Santa Monica to Catalina back here to Santa Monica, but that flight never made it back to this airport, instead crashing about a mile west of the airport there on Catalina Island, killing all 5 people on board. We can take you to the video this afternoon and show you this from FlightAware. It shows the plane's first flight of the day. It originally departed from the Santa Monica airport yesterday evening around 6 p.m. and arrived at the airport on Catalina Island in Avalon. About 20 minutes later, the twin-engine plane stayed on Catalina Island for about an hour and a half, but shortly after taking off to head back to Santa Monica, that's when an emergency took place on board. Around 8:08 p.m., a 911 SOS alert was sent from a cell phone belonging to one of the passengers, signaling an emergency and informing the police that a crash occurred. That location was tracked by GPS coordinates, prompting a quick response from first responders and multiple search and rescue teams. This now is video from the Catalina Island Conservancy's Instagram page, where you can see what it looks like from above approaching Catalina Island. Rescue teams found the wreckage in a steep, rugged area on Catalina Island there. Tragically, all 5 adults on board were pronounced dead at the scene. Officials are now working to secure that crash site. The plane is registered to the founder of Santa Monica Aviation. That's a company that shut down in 2018 but provided flight training services here at this airport. We spoke to aviation expert and former KTLA 5 News helicopter pilot Tim Lynn. He says while the NTSB is investigating the exact cause, there are several factors that make the conditions difficult at Catalina Island Airport specifically.
Departing the airport is also pretty tricky too. As you depart out, you get a bit of a downdraft at the end of the runway. Also, late in the evening, you do get a lot of moisture over there with cloud cover and fog coming up the backside or the west side of the island. The airport does have an arch in the middle of the runway. So as you're coming down the runway, there's an optical illusion that makes it look like you're running out of runway. And they've had pilots attempt to pull up a little too early and without airspeed and stall aircrafts.
And so the Catalina Airport officially closes at 5 p.m. and typically prohibits nighttime operations. However, it's still unclear whether that pilot got special permits to operate at that time. Of course, all of that is now under investigation. Meanwhile, the identities of those 5 people on board have not yet been released. That's the latest for now. Live here in Santa Monica this afternoon, I'm Omar Lewis. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you, Omar. Another hidden camera has been found in the front yard of a home, this time in Arcadia. It was found in bushes near Highland Oaks Drive and Virginia Avenue. The discovery was made by a local resident walking his dog. Police say it was pointing towards nearby homes. They say the camera is part of a scheme used by burglars to monitor neighborhood homes to find out when residents come and go. Other hidden cameras have been found outside homes in Alhambra, Chino Hills, and Garden Grove. It is a must-win tonight for the Dodgers, whose season is over if they lose to the Padres in Game 4 of the National League Divisional Series.
And Chip Yost is live outside Petco Park in San Diego with more on another controversial play that a lot of people talking about today. Hi.
Yeah, hey there, Lou and Glenn. A lot of people talking about it, and once again, the person at the center of this play is Manny Machado, the former Dodger, current San Diego Padres star, who in the second inning was one of the ones who got in and scored a run. The second inning for the Padres was great. For the Dodgers, it was one of those innings where everything that could go wrong did go wrong almost. They scored 6 runs, the Padres did, in that second inning, including a Fernando Tatis Jr. home run you saw there. The Dodgers, they weren't dead yet, even though the Padres scored 6 runs. They had some highlights. I'll show you some of those. Here is Teoscar Hernandez hitting a grand slam for the Dodgers. The very next inning, that brought the score within 1 run, 6-5, because Mookie Betts also had a home run in the first inning. But unfortunately for the Dodgers, that would be their only runs. The game would end with the Padres on top, taking a 2-1 lead, and that controversy you're talking about, a topic of conversation. Let's show you the video. This is what we're talking about right now. Manny Machado was on first base when a ball was hit to Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman goes down, goes to try to turn the double play to throw Machado out at second. But if you look at the video there, Machado goes way out of what you might think of as the